Bob KIPHUTH knew the human body extremely well. He had studied it from the time he was a teenager, and there are few people in the world who knew the human body as well as he did. His dryland exercises were so good, his bodybuilding that I had never done before. Matt Mann didn't believe in dryland exercises, weight training at all. And a lot of his exercises were based on the core muscles. And in the end, that's what keeps us going. And he also really knew people. He knew who needed what, and he knew how to encourage people in the right way and motivate people. A lot of us benefited greatly from what he knew and was able to pass on to us.
Haines was really a magician, and the best thing about Haines is he had a lot of other swimmers who were swimming my event, like Don Scholander, and I always felt that he would give me advice on how to swim my race, and he'd go away and give Scholander advice on how to swim his race, and I never thought there was favoritism.
And you know that you're equal ability in the fly, and you're better in the backstroke. So you're going to have to get out at least even with him in the fly, try to get ahead of him at the end of the back. In the race. So let's think of relax when you get up in the finals this afternoon, and if you think about your style and concentrate on your turns, the time will be there at the end.
The thing was, he made you really dig down deeply, and I gave 100% every time I went into the pool because I didn't want to make George feel bad, and I didn't want to disappoint him. So I knew when I got on the block at the trials or the Olympics that I would be fine because I never lagged around in the pool. And I think after growing up and realizing years later when I was an adult that he made every single person feel like they were his favorite. And that's a gift that it's very hard for a coach. And that's how he became the greatest women's coach in the day, in the 60s.
Yeah, and he had a great personality, wonderful personality, good people person. And I think he picked up swimming through osmosis. I don't know that he ever read anything about swimming. He just talked to other coaches and found out what they were doing, and he did it his way. But and it was standard. He really was kind of top of the ladder.
Well, I think one thing is believing in the athletes that you're training, and you've got to instill within them the confidence that they can do it, and sometimes it actually surprises you how much they go up and beyond what you thought they might be capable of.
Well, I think the coach has to be able to connect with the athlete, and once you have that connection with the athlete, it's what you can get out of the athlete the best possible way for that athlete to perform at his or her best. So I truly believe in the connection an athlete and a coach have to get a great performance out of an athlete, and I think that's what's the true ability of coaching.
Well, there's so many different qualities that go into a great coach, and for me, I'm just speaking personally, the one that sticks out in my mind about Richard was his communication skills. The ability to communicate when you're going through the peaks and the valleys of your swimming. And it's a pretty equal mix of both. And the coach needs to be able to communicate to you during both of those times during your career, whether it's in practice or whether it's during a meet. And for me, Richard was so good at making me feel good about myself through the good times and bad times, and that part to me meant a lot more than the actual coaching part. Yeah, he was a great technician, he was a great motivator, he was a great practice coach. He came up with great sets, great variety. All of those things were important, but for me, the most important thing for me was his ability to relate to me one-on-one. I felt like when he was talking to me that I was the only person in the world that he was talking to, and he made me feel good about myself. He made me feel special.
For me, it's always been someone that believes in me and believes in everything that I can do. That's one thing that Peter Banks always said to me is, I believe you can be the best swimmer in the entire world. And that meant so much to me. While it took me a long time to realize it and understand what he was saying, I think for him to constantly instill that in me made me a stronger swimmer and a stronger athlete. And I think Jack Bowerly did the same. He knew when I walked through that door for my recruiting trip that I was something special, and he made me feel that way throughout my entire swimming career too. So both of them supporting me in their beliefs and how great of an athlete I could be made my swimming career better than I ever thought it would be.
My coach, my one and only coach, Jim Montrella, made me believe in myself.
All good coaches realize that they can't be there for the athlete at all times. You might not be put on the Olympic coaching staff, and the kid will have to be able to coach themselves. So the good coaches explain what they're doing, explain what they're looking for, and educate the swimmers how to coach themselves.
What they taught us, I think, and I'll go to Nort, and my high school coaches, you had to learn to take responsibility for your success, for your failures, for your training. And as soon as you realized that it was up to you to do it and not your coach doing it for you, it really changed you, and you grew up a lot and you became a better swimmer, better athlete, better person.
It's more than just being on the pool deck. Coaching, you have to be there, I think, and educate and talk to your swimmers about what they want to do with their life, and that someday, they were going to have to leave the sport of swimming, and they should prepare their life to do that.
On my side, I look at see who the great coaches were, and when you look at the swimmers when they're in their 30s and 40s and they look back at their swimming, if they make a comment that that person made a slight difference in my life, not just in the swimming pool, I think that's when you know that that coach has been a great coach and has touched those people in their lives, not just in the swimming pool.
One thing that especially Doc had is he had a great sense of humor. And the other thing is he was just a pillar of stability. You could always count on the guy to be rock solid and really be, show the way of a lot of young men. So with that, I carried my life lessons I really learned from Doc on how to, really, progress as an adult and follow his example.
I think it's a coach that exudes confidence, that actually knows that he knows, and he knows you and what you need. That was the most important thing for me, I think, with my coach, Mark Schubert, who really knew and understood me and taught me to know and understand myself, what I needed to do. And I had the utmost confidence in him that he knew exactly which techniques and methods and training sets and everything were going to get me to the goal that we had set together for what we wanted to accomplish in each swim and during the season.
I believe it's love of the sport, love of your athletes, and really caring about how they're going to perform and what they're going to do.